Alright guys, kamusta naman kayo dyan? Sorry, nakahabol tayo ng late ng konti today. Medyo hinabol natin ng konting self-care. As you know, yung last time na nag-live tayo together with Lord Toranaga, aka Jonathan Morales of the Progressive Movement, si Edu Manzanas, otherwise known as Secretary Liamas. Yan, paras kami medyo low bat. Tapos grabe pa yung mga sinabi ng tao. Sir, di kami sanay na seryoso kayong dalawa, no? At kung kailan kami seryoso dahil may lagnat na kami, kulang kami ng energy. Mukhang medyo maganda-ganda yung topic. Medyo maganda-ganda yung discussion. So I suggest you guys check out. Ay, actually, hindi pa na yata na-upload yung full version. Bukas, lalabas na yung full version na, lalabas yung versions na yan. Sliced version and then full version na yan. But the Spotify version should be out tomorrow, guys. So please check it out. R&R the other Saturday. Paras kami may lagnat, flu. So medyo hinabol natin ng konting self-care, medyo recovery among other things. Again, guys, thank you so much sa lahat ng supportan niyo. As you can see, the play button there behind me. Nasaan ba yung kamay ko? Yan. Yan. So, pansin niyo, lumiit na siya. Lumiit na yung play button ngayon. Ibang klase. Kung kailan na kami sumali sa YouTube game, pinaliit nila yan. Na, hindi ko alam pinaliit nila yan dahil binabudget na nila yan. Dahil ang dami na ng YouTuber at saka dami ng mga YouTuber na big time sa shorts lang, di ba? Kilala ko, ang dami dyan, nag-ano lang, nag-post lang sila ng shorts. Yun na yan, pwede na yan. Click na click, di ba? At saka mga verticals. So, the game has changed. So, siguro ngayon, yan ang ginagawa nila. But I think there's a quality is more or less something the same. Anyways, tignan natin sa Caloocan, baka may old version yan. Baka mahabol natin yan. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Alam niyo naman, guys, the reason why na I don't want to use the word proud. I also don't want to use the word humble because I think both of them don't capture yung totoong feelings natin dito. For me, actually, it's a bit surreal kasi sa totoo lang, seryoso ako pagdating sa schedule in a sense that yes, hindi consistent yung mga oras natin and all dahil syempre may mga day jobs tayo, mga other things, ang dami natin ibang commitments. But consistent tayo in a sense na sinisigurado natin halos everyday meron tayong ganun. In fact, sa lahat ng mga progressive or non-DDS or whatever, vloggers, tayo lang naman talaga at ang nauna na everyday tayo nag-vlog. Especially yung paano na elections, may mga times at 3 times a day tayo nag-vlog. At nung una pa nga, medyo mataas-taas yung mga, I imagine, mga millions of views tayo a day, no? A day. And then nung Facebook, pinalitan nila yung algorithm, biglang baksak yung mga numbers. Akala ko nga, sinisensor kami. Akala ko shadow ban. Although, you never know, right? You never know. Panindigong pa rin yun. And you never know. So, there was a time nag-iisip ako, ano mangyayari sa atin nito? So I thought of two things. Sabi ko, mahirap na umasa lang sa Facebook. Twitter naman, pahala kayo dyan. TikTok naman, syempre, China, di ba? Mahirap na pag mga topic, West Philippines, hindi ko nga alam kung nagsispy din sila sa atin na next time. So sabi ko, eto na lang, sabi ko, I'll put up two different platforms at I'll work on that. One is of course from scratch, yung Spotify. Gumawa tayo ng Spotify account natin na of course ang latest iteration niya is the deep dive. And then of course, etong YouTube sineryoso na natin. Because as you notice, back in the day, hindi ako nag-upload masyado sa YouTube or yung mga pinupost ko lang sa YouTube, yung mga excerpts sa mga interviews natin. Ang talagang inuuna ko is yung Facebook. And in fact, kaya nga ka-meta. Kasi meta comes from live, 'di ba? Meta live. Live, Facebook live, meta live. And then nagkataon din yung Facebook, nag-meta rin sila, so perfect. But over time, aminin natin, Facebook is still important and central to us. We have the most number of followers, I think around 300,000 followers on Facebook among others. But nevertheless, of course, yung momentum talaga natin at saka yung talagang yung puso natin, yung passion natin, lahat pupunta dito sa YouTube, Spotify, and others, kung saan feeling ko talaga wala tayong presence. So let me just say how, again, I don't want to use the word humbled, but let me just say how grateful I am, guys, na dahil sa tulong nyo, dahil sa inyong paniniwala, dahil sa inyong bullying, in fact, yung mga bullying, trolling, among other things, nagawa na natin competitive itong mga platforms na ito. No? So, of course, on Facebook, we have remained competitive among the leading sources of political, influence, if you can put it in terms of shaping discourse. The same on Twitter, di naman sa, pero medyo malakas-lakas din tayo dyan. But, I'm really I'm really grateful, guys. I think gratitude is the right term, not proud or humble. Gratitude is the right term na kahit papaano medyo umuusad din tayo sa mga ibang platforms na mahalaga rin ngayon at napakalaking influence sa ating kababayan. At ang nasasabi ko no, doon sa mga experiences natin, mga karanasan natin na yung mga followers po natin galing sa iba't ibang sektor, no? No, whether ito ay nasa Green Hills ako, sa BGC ako, whether si Kuya, si Ate, si Sir, si Doctor, whatever. So nakikita natin na kahit papaano yung reach natin lumalawak na. Siyempre back in the day, umaasa lang tayo dun sa mga interviews natin sa TV. At of course, ako ay resident analyst dati. May show tayo with Atom Aurelio dati sa GMA Network. But at the end of the day, hindi ko naman talaga platform yan eh. 'Di ba? Talent ka lang doon. Ito, of course, hindi ako may-ari ng YouTube, but more or less channel natin yan. Yung Spotify, hindi naman tayo may-ari ng Spotify, but more or less channel natin yan. So salamat talaga guys. And of course, proud na proud tayo na yung isang week, no, we were able to make yung Spotify natin, yung isang episode natin, nag number 5 of all episodes on Spotify in the Philippines, all episodes. Whether ito yung, I don't know, show ni Vice Ganda, show ni, I don't know, whatever, Barangay Love, whatever. So, lahat ng mga uploaded dyan, nagawa natin number 5. Number 5. And let me just be clear, this was before itong latest na whole casual meeting, brouhaha, and mga other things. So minsan nakakalungkot yung may mga kasama tayo dyan na hindi ko alam dahil third world yung mindset, dahil kulang sa critical thinking, kulang sa edukasyon, kulang sa exposure. Hindi nila naintindihan na ang trabaho ng mga taong katulad natin, ang term po dyan is public thinkers. Alright? The more Frenchy, pretentious term is public intellectual. The more Russian term is intelligentsia. Right? Um, there are other language versions. In some Middle Eastern languages, the version of intellectual is the bright thinkers, people who think about a bright future. So, sa Pilipinas, siguro our closest version to that, but obviously at the very high level, is mga ilustrados, for instance. So, ito yung mga tao na hindi lang nila iniisip yung kanilang every daily job, iniisip din nila yung public interest. Now, to cite Immanuel Kant, there's the private exercise of reason, but there's also the public exercise of reason. No, na yung ginagawa mo is hindi lang dahil sa career mo, sa trabaho mo, sa obligasyon mo, sa kontrata mo, sinasabi mo dahil may saysay ito sa interes ng bayan. Alright? So this is a public exercise of reason in a very Kantian, Immanuel Kantian sense of the word. Right? So, minsan napapaisip ako na kasalanan ko ba na nasa paligid ko yung ibang tao na mukhang hindi pa rin updated sa mga pangyayari sa mundo, na hindi nila alam yung notion ng public thinker, public intellectual, public intelligence, whatever. Or talagang kailangan ko tanggapin na magkakaroon talaga ng mga ganitong tao dahil of course, medyo kailangan pa natin ingat ang marami-rami dyan, di ba? But nevertheless, we have to do what we have to do at dapat tuloy-tuloy lang tayo at salamat sa inyong tulong. You know, we have that kind of strength of character and conviction and all. But actually, I realized also kanina sabi ko, you know, bakit ba tayong maghihirap sa ibang tao na hater lang or kulang sa edukasyon or whatever? Kung ayaw nilang matuto sa buhay, problema nila yan, 'di ba? So iba, sabi ko kanina, talaga I'll be stricter na, 'di ba? Kung puro magto-troll ka lang, mangbabastos ka lang or anything like that, yun lang. Sorry na lang. Either ma-mute ka or goodbye na lang, 'di ba? Kasi 'di ba? Let's be mature, 'di ba? Let's be mature. Let's be like adults. When we have a conversation, pwede naman kayo mag-disagree or anything like that. Pero kung yung mga pastusan lang, troll lang ganun, I have to also take care of myself and my page, alright? And my threads. Ayoko yung purong kapastusan lang nandun or mga asaran lang ng ganun. It's not gonna help anyone. So, yun po yung ginagawa natin dito. Ayan, si RJ Hart, isa pang troll na yan. Yan, bye-bye. Okay. So, balikan natin itong issue na ito, guys. So first of all, really, really thank you. And speaking of role of public intellectual, may mga pinopost din tayo kanina. May pinost ako kanina ukol doon sa issue ni Kaloy kanina. I did an analysis there also. Again, ayan na naman mga epal dyan. Sasabihin, ano pa kayo mo dyan? Nakikisawsaw ka parang, well lang, sino ba kayo para sasabihin sa akin na ako nakikisawsaw? Bakit kayo bang expert? Bakit turf nyo ba yan? Even if it's your turf, it's none of your business what other people want to say. Yung mga nagsasabi, mga henyo dyan, Richard, stick ka lang sa politics, stick ka lang. Anong klaseng third world mindset yan? 'Di ba? Lahat tayo dapat magkakaroon tayo ng educated reason opinion on different issues, especially if your job is something like mine, which is public education. Right? Let's just use the word public education. Ayoko rin yung term ng thought leader kasi medyo may pagka Silicon Valley pretentiousness dyan. Let's just say public education. Now, mahalaga itong issue na to because when you talk about Kaloy and EJ Obiena and mga other things, it's also something about leadership, being role models, diba? Being a source of inspiration for other people. So yes, it's it's definitely my business to say something about this. And of course, as someone medyo kuya na, medyo matandang millennial na, 'di ba? You want to also sometimes say things na perhaps people are free to disagree, but perhaps people can draw some inspiration from. Kung ikaw ay nasa 20s na, ikaw medyo nagsisimula ka sa buhay, baka sa tingin mo may mga matutunan ka sa mga katulad namin na medyo mas tanda-tanda na, medyo na may mga experience na, then okay lang. Go lang. Ayan. Dumadami mga trolls. Napansin ko pag yung title pa lang ay medyo matrigger ka agad yung mga ka-DDS natin and all of that. So thank you. I think the trolling is working at yan si Lumpiang Troll Boy. Block ka na rin yan. Sa TikTok yan, sa TikTok lang. Actually napansin ko guys, may mga nagsabi, bakit ka pa sumasagot ka na? Actually, I don't answer all the time. Because first of all, I don't have time for that. Second, it's not worth it. But once in a while, the lion has to roar to remind the hyenas of the right place. Diba? In the hierarchy, in the Lion King, Lion King's kingdom. Alright? And napansin ko also guys dito is, kung palaban ka and you draw the line, people are willing to fight for it. Kaya, eto, TikTok wala lang yan. But on every major platform, napansin natin, pag may mga tao na unreasonable or hater lang, salamat sa inyo mga followers and supporters natin. There are many times that I don't even need to intervene because I think more than enough people are out there to set the record straight. All right? And to remind these people, hey, go and park your hater, unreasonableness somewhere else. Okay, so thank you so much again sa mga lahat ng mga naniniwala sa atin na sumusuporta sa atin. At I'll tell you what, dito galing talaga yung ating conviction to do what we're doing. Now, speaking of conviction, in doing what we're doing, right? Kahit ang daming trolls, ang daming haters, and mga others, kahit anong sasabihin niyo dyan, hindi tayo, matatawa lang ako sa inyo at block lang kayo dyan kung gusto niyo mang bastos lang, diba? Kasi gusto natin medyo malinis-linis tignan naman, diba? But anyways, going back to this, natawa naman ako dito sa crop top ko. Grabe naman to. Grabe naman, sinong gumawa nito? Sinong gumawa nito? Grabe. Ito ba yung damit na Coachella ni Sarah? Nag-coach. Ano bang ginagawa niya dito? Ayan, grabe naman to guys. Grabe. Sino gumawa niyan? Ang mean naman. Ang mean naman gumawa ng mga memes na ganito guys. Tingnan niyo naman. Tingnan niyo naman. Sino kasi nag-iisip ng mga ganun? Grabe yung mga nagsulat dito, oh. Oo, since nakabuhaya yung shirt natin, pag-usapan natin mga buhaya sa confidential fund. Yan. Ito ang parating ko sinasabi. Whatever you criticism you may have of fashion of Kaloy, this guy has earned he has earned it. He needs to enjoy it. Itong tao na tayo, laki ng sakripisyo niya to reach this level of excellence and gold medal material. So, I'm happy to see him happy. Now, ibang usapan na yung mga with his family and all of that, ibang usapan na yan. I think my stance on that is very clear. Yes, mali yung ginawa ni mommy, ganyan, pero ganyan, hindi naman yung kapatid, hindi naman yung tao. Okay, but nevertheless, itong tao na to, okay, he worked and earned, hindi naman earned, more like prized, bigyan siya ng prize, ng 130 million pesos. Actually, malapit na yata 150 or 200 million na ba? In 16 years. Alright, so after 16 years of gymnastics and working very hard, right, finally, yan, yung mga prize money na nakuha niya. Kasi kung wala yung prize money yan, wala eh. 'Di ba? Talagang mahirap ang buhay ng mga Olympians, 'di ba? Itong mga tao na talagang todo bigay, todo dedikasyon ang ginagawa nila. Alright, 16 years of dedicating his youth, his best years, everything like that, and eventually he got the prize. Right? Sa kabila naman daw, sarap buhay. 11 days lang, nakagastos ng 125 million at mahalaga dyan, hindi niya pera kaban ng bayan ang ginamit. Pero guys, legit naman ang confidential funds daw. So far, hintayin natin yung Supreme Court ruling on that. But these things tayo. Pero grabe naman yung mga yan, guys. Pero, who wore it better, yung crop top? Si ano ba? Sino bang mas magaling na crop top dito sa dalawa na yan? Ano sa tingin niyo? Ayan. Crop top contest. Yan. Siguro medyo lamang ng konti yung isa. Pero pagdating sa gastos, mas magaling yung isa. Mas magaling yung isa. Feeling ko si Kaloy naman, hindi pa naman niya nagastos lahat eh. Medyo konti-konti lang. Here and there, here and there. Tsaka marami naman siyang sponsorships eh. Diba? Sponsorships na hindi naman kaban ng bayan. May galing sa private sector, among other things. Anyways, guys. Balikan natin yan. Dami na pipikon na dito. Uminit-unit na tayo. Let's get the ball rolling. Alright, guys. Here we are. Pag-usapan natin two of the latest surveys. Ayan, na-warm up na tayo. Pag-usapan na natin two of the latest surveys which show, without doubt, they say, Duterte's no longer there, no longer good. Yan. Bakit? Richard, I hope to see you're using Android phone. Bakit naman? Ito? Kaya ito, chismoso talaga. Huwag nyo nang pakialaman. Ayan, may luma akong iPhone dito. Ayan. Anyways, they say. Alright, okay. Hindi ako nagsabi yan, guys, ha. Not me. Alright, pag-usapan natin, Okta survey. Pulse Asia survey. Amazing people, great people, wonderful people. Yan, pag-usapan natin. Tama na yung mga kutsela na yan. Ilan parang gusto kong sabayan si Madam, ah. Sige. Gawin natin. Sinong mas maganda na kutsela sa amin tatlo? Sige lang, itakit na. Sige lang. Coachella. Yan. Okay, anyway, balikan na natin. Parang okay rin naman to. Parang Terminator vibes, ah. Yan, si Mr. Johnny Bro. Coachella boy. Yan, okay. Sige, maganda yan. Di ba? Gaya si Madam. Idol ganyan si Madam. Coachella. Yun, Coachella. Galing gumastos. 146% efficiency. Alright, okay. Galing talaga. Galing talaga expertise nila mga ano na to, no? Okay. Anyway, balikan natin. So we have two important surveys to talk about, guys. Okay. Hindi, kaya nga proud tayo. Okay, na proud. Kaya nga grateful tayo na nakakuha tayo ng mga top 5, top 10, whatever. Dahil walang budget, walang production. Sige, medyo sabog pa yung structure minsan. But actually, that's intentional. I mean, of course, if you want a structured version of me, go and watch my, I don't know, BBC CN interview or my lectures in, I don't know, Harvard Law School or whatever. But the whole point of this podcasts, these vlogs is to be relaxed, to be, you know what I'm saying, spontaneous, enjoy, back and forth, di ba? Guys, on these platforms, I don't take myself too seriously. In fact, in life, I don't want to take myself too seriously. I take my job very seriously. I don't want to take myself too seriously. But here, nag-enjoy lang tayo. But going back to this, okay, tama na, dami natin mga distractions. Baka mga haters na naman sabihin natin, gusto ko dun sa kabilang channel kasi ito maraming sinasabing ganyan. Di okay. Di ka naman kawalan. Hindi naman kailangan yung mga toxic na katulad nyo. Di bye. Mag-subscribe din. Di bye. Sino ba naman kayo? 10 lang naman kayo dyan eh. Okay, balikan natin to. Nasaan na tayo? Ito. So, dalawang survey yan, ah. One is the Okta survey, which clearly shows, guys, delikado mga Duterte. Delikado ng mga Duterte. Remember, not long ago, si Sara Duterte was so confident. Some would even say hubristic that she said, tatlo sa amin ang tatakbo sa Senado. As if sigurado silang tatlo. As if sila na talagang the best ngayon. So, anong mangyari? Lalagay sila sa Senado kahit mukhang ewan. Tignan na tatlo sa isang pamilya ang pupunta dyan. Although, kung Tulfo ka, mukhang yan ang mangyari. But you get what I'm saying? Pero sabay na tatlong tatakbo, that's crazy. Even Tulfos have not done that. At least sila 2, 1, 2, ganyan ang mangyari. So, speaking of the Dutertes, diba? Speaking of the Dutertes, guys. If you look at the Okta survey, the latest one, bakit isa sa kanila mahirapan na? Diba? Kahit isa sa kanya mahirapan na. In fact, tomorrow, guys, interestingly, tomorrow, yung column natin sa Philippine Daily Inquirer, alright, will be on the rise of Tulfos. It's a separate case issue. With all due respect to my friends, alright, dun sa mga kaibigan natin, and all na bash sa mga Tulfos, pero hindi nagbabash sa mga Duterte. Medyo interesting usapan yan. Pero balikan natin ito eh. Diba? Ito, so titignan mo na itong latest survey na ito. Alright, Okta survey na to. Don't worry. We'll go to the Pulse Asia survey shortly. Don't worry, don't worry. By the way, yung mga ka-DDS natin, tuwan-tuwa kayo nung sa Okta survey, number one si Sarah sa ganito, tuwan-tuwa kayo nung number one si Digong sa ganito. Tapos ngayon, na medyo kulelat na kayo, bigla ayaw nyo sa Okta survey. Ay, hindi pwedeng ganyan. Okay so dito makikita nyo guys, Erwin Tulfo, 60%, number one. Ben Tulfo, Benvenido Tulfo, 57% statistical tied for number one. Then, Christopher Bongo, yan, sabi ko, yun ang malakas. Then, it's Lacson, Bong Revilla, Cayetano, Tolentino, Pacquiao, Marcos, Imelda, Lapit, Manuel, and then, Digong. So, Digong could be as low as number 15. So, even si Digong, ang laki ng posibilidad na si Digong mismo hindi makapasok. Although I doubt that even Digong will run, no? Okay? I doubt that even Digong will run. Kasi I think medyo matanda na siya masyado. At saka baka masisipin ni Digong na tatakbo na lang siya sa mayor or dyan lang siya. Ayan. Sorry, biniblock ko lang itong mga walang yung itsusera niyan. Okay, so kita nyo, si Digong mismo hirap na. And then that line that you see here guys, sorry, lagay ko nga kayo dito para makita nyo, sorry That line na nakikita nyo dito guys, yun yung may pag-asa ka pa dun sa Magic 12 with the margin of error. Wala na dito yung Mawang Duterte. Labas na labas si Baste. He's between number 16 to 24. Only 22% si Baste. Only 22% si Baste. And then you have to go down. Si Pulong naman, 20% lang. 20% lang. Alright? So, delikado sila. Baka if Digong doesn't run, baka wala pang makapasok sa kanila. This is a huge drop for the Dutertes. To think that not long ago, akala ng mga Dutertes, no matter what happens, not one, but two, but even three could make it. So ngayon, kitang-kita natin dito guys, wala. Not me. They say. So dito nakita niyo talaga, hirap na hirap talaga ng mga Duterte ngayon. Kahit isang Senate, kahit isang senador, baka wala sila. In fact, interestingly, kahit yung mga ibang hardcore DDS, si Bato de la Rosa, alanganin din si Bato. Si Bato, baka as low as number 15 pa siya. Ang preference lang ni Bato is 29%. Sobrang baba. In fact, si Bato, ka-level niya ngayon si Benhur Abalos. Yung nag-fan meet kayo. That tells you guys, talagang hindi na sila the same. Wala na yung mga Duterte, hindi na sila the same. But, as if that were not enough, let's look at another survey. Sige, ayun na Okta, galit kayo sa Okta kasi hindi na number one sa universe ng mga Duterte. Okay lang yan. Punta naman tayo sa isa pang survey. Ayan, gusto niya, mga kamalu. Mga malu. Gusto niya, mga kamalu. Yan. Ito naman, Publicos Asia Survey. Bakit public? Para lang maging mukhang Pulse Asia. Whatever, okay. Ito naman, Publicos Asia, very interesting. Itong pahayag, fourth quarter. Don't worry guys, ipopost ko lahat yan sa baba. You can check it on your own. I'll post links or I'll post the graph itself. May kita nyo mismo dito. Lahat nandito. Alright? Ito mga approval ratings ni Marcos, ni Sara, trust ratings lahat. Kitang-kita nyo dito. Alright? Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Ito. Okay, block na naman natin itong mga walang ya. Alam mo guys, walang mangyari sa buhay nyo kung hanggang hater lang kayo dyan. Okay. Hindi kami hater, kaya nakikita niyan. Nakikita niyan? Pag di ka hater pero critical thinking ganyan. Okay. Pero kung hater ka, hanggang ka lang nag-hater. Okay. So ito yung mga approval ratings. This is a very interesting thing to, okay? So ito rin yung mga tables, makita mo by region. NCR, lahat nandito. NCR, Balance Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, lahat nandito guys. Lahat nandito. So ipopost ko sa baba para makita nyo. Alright? Not good. Yan. So kanina pinakita natin dun sa isang survey, baka kahit isang Duterte hindi makapasok sa Senate. At yung Duterte lang na may pag-asa talaga ay si Digong na medyo matanda-tanda na at malabo na tatakbo. So baka kahit isa lang wala. At baka sa lahat ng mga DDS, si Bongo lang makapasok. I'm just saying. Sorry na. Now, what's interesting is that it's not only this latest survey na lumabas kay kay Publicos Asia. If you look at all the surveys by Publicos Asia over the past multiple quarters, okay? So Sara's approval rating actually has dropped by 22% over the past 4 quarters. So if you do a year-on-year analysis, so if you look at the fourth quarter, if you look at the last year's third quarter, so third quarter of 2023, kung titignan mo yung mga numbers ng 2023 third quarter, ito hindi na ako to kay Malu yan. Ay, sorry, kay Public Asia yan, alright? Just saying, compared to last year, 22 points ang baksak ni Sara Duterte in terms of approval ratings. She was as high as 62, 40 na lang siya ngayon. Her disapproval, meanwhile, has gone up 19 points from 18 to 37%. So one-third na ating mga kababayan, mga solid north dyan na galit kay Sara. At saka yung mga ibang kakamping dyan na galit kay Sara. Yan, nagsama-sama na sila. 37% ayaw sa kanya. Alright? At yung approval niya down from 62 to only 40%. Okay? Sobrang dramatic po ito. Okay? Sobrang dramatic ito. Wow. I'm just gonna post it to you guys. Okay? You can check it on your own. Okay? So ulitin natin doon sa isang survey, baksak. Okay, sige, tanggalin natin yung shades natin kasi nagfe-feeling na naman yung mga pangit dyan. Ay, sorry, mga ano dyan. Doon sa isang survey, baksak yung numbers nila from akala nila 2-3 makapasok Duterte, ngayon baka isa hirap na. That's the Okta survey. Dito naman sa survey ni Malu, ay sorry, Public Association naman, kita mo, double digit din yung baksak ng numbers naman ni Sara from last year. So imagine how things could turn out for her in years to come if ganyan ka marginalize. Alright, ganyan ka marginalize na naman sila. Now, that's not enough. Let's look at another survey. Pulse Asia naman. Hindi Public Asia, Pulse Asia. Mga kamalo, makinig naman kayo dito. Ito naman, interestingly. Alright, interesting din ito. Alright, this is also interesting. Sara Duterte is down sa NCR region by 28 points. Alright, 28 points. In fact, overall, Sara Duterte had a 9-point reduction. Dito sa latest third quarter survey. So ito yung latest survey ng Pulse Asia covering the third quarter of this year. 9 points drop. Sa NCR region, 28 points drop. Grabe, ang laki ng baksak ng number ni Sara Duterte. Now, that's only for quarter to quarter. So if you do it year on year, the numbers could be even more dramatic. So I'll post that again later on sa inyo guys para makita niyo. Alright, everything here. Okay. Si Marcos, in fairness, Marcos is not also doing fantastic. Bumaba rin siya ng 3 points. And in fact, one of the reasons why Marcos is also not doing very well is because of Mindanao, where he got less than 1/3 of the approval. Sobrang baba kasi ni BBM sa Mindanao Yun ang problema kasi ngayon ni BBM Alright. Kaya medyo bumaba pa yung number niya. I'm just trying to pull out the numbers here. So, see, 26 lang siya sa Mindanao. Grabe. Sobrang baba ni BBM sa Mindanao. But interestingly, bumaksak din ang numbers ni BBM sa ABC 30+% lang siya. So the reason why BBM is still a majority approval is actually because of the D class, alright, the working class, the masa, right? But Sara is now only at 36% in National Capital Region. But what's really pushing her up is Mindanao. So it's really the Mindanao which is holding Sara within the range of majority approval. And it's Mindanao that has significantly brought down Marcos approval rating. Essentially, nag-evaporate yung Mindanao based ng Uniteam nung umalis na si Sara or pinaalis na si Sara doon sa Uniteam. Kaya that hurt Marcos a lot. Not to mention, Marcos is also not doing very well among the ABC. Alright, siguro may kinalaman din ito sa issues with PhilHealth, issues with, Maharlika Fund, among other things. We can examine that more. But Sara also is not doing very well, especially in the National Capital Region, where the seat of power and economy is. So, the news is not fantastic for Marcos. But if you're Duterte, if you look at 3 different surveys, alright? So, pwede mo i-bash ng survey, o sige, mag-Google Trends na lang kaya, bahala kayo sa buhay. Gusto niyo magkwentong barbero, problema na yan. But, if you look at 3 different surveys, 3 different backgrounds, right? At least dalawa dyan, I can attest to, legit. These are colleagues I've worked with, whether it's Professor Ranjit Rai, whether it's Professor Holmes. Hindi ko alam dun sa may iba. But if you look at this, all three of them show a similar trend. Pababa at pababa yung approval ratings ng mga Dutertes. Hindi lang si Sara Duterte. You don't want to believe me? It's okay. Go hate me. Go troll me. Sige na. Do your best. Let's see. Go. See? So that means something is going on here, guys. And actually, ang kutob namin dyan is, the more na pabaksak ang mga Dutertes in terms of approval and all, it doesn't mean necessarily pataas rin si Marcos. Hindi rin. Marcos is also not doing very well. Sakto lang siya. Sakto lang siya. Except, si Marcos is in position of power. He's still the president. He has the levers of control, right? He has the machinery of the state behind him, right? So, yun ang nakikita natin dyan. Ayan, Yornero. Alam mo kayo mga ka-DDS, kayo nagpanalo kay BBM, kayo nagpabalik sa mga Marcoses, at kayo ang pinaka-apologies, kayo may pinaka-kasalanan kung talaga may issue kayo sa Marcos. Alright? Ayusin niyo lang sarili mo ha. Yung mga apologies tagging niyan, laos na yung style niyan. Kayo ang nagpanalo sa mga Marcoses, hindi kami. I've been always critical of the Marcoses. Except sa West Philippines, in fairness, the guy's been doing good. Unlike Digong, hindi tuta ng China. Ayan, mablock na naman tayo sa TikTok. Hindi tuta ng China. Di ko na kasalanan yon na tama yung ginagawa niya. Alam naman, di ba? Para sa bahay naman inisip natin dito di ba? But, wala Kala nyo, budol king kayo, tapos nabudol kayo nung isa, mas OG sa inyo, kasalanan niyan. Wala nang sisiyan. Ganun ang kasimple yan. So anyway, so that leaves two potential winners. If Marcos is not going up significantly, and in the meantime, Duterte's are pababa, right? Whether them running for Senate, whether Sara's approval or trust rating. So who are the potential winners? So number one, obviously the Tulfos are the potential winners. Ayan, kanina apologies tag niyo ako. Sige, Tulfonatic tag niyo rin ako. Sige na. Galingan niyo na. Since magaling naman kayo mag-isip, di ba? Obviously I'm being sarcastic. No. So one are the Tulfos who are really juicing this up. Really juicing this. Marami akong kilala na unit team sila dati. Tapos ngayon, either inis kay BBM or inis kay Sara. Pero medyo natutuwa na sa mga Tulfos. We're gonna have a separate vlog discussion about the Tulfos later on. But as you can see, kahapon also we had this interview with nung Saturday we had this interview with Professor Wataru Kusaka of Tokyo University of Foreign Studies. Sabi niya, Tagalog siya, di ba? Nagtatagalog siya, sabi niya. Kasi yung sumbong mo sa Tulfo, tulungan kanila, ganyan. So, medyo na-discuss natin. But I'll discuss that more in detail. Including, of course, criticism na publicity. But trial by publicity, or actually publicity rin by trial kasi magkakaroon sila ng publicity dahil sa mga ginagawa nila. So, pag-usapan natin yan, guys. Don't worry about it. Pag-usapan natin mga yan. Okay? So, one potential winner here are the Tulfos. Pero para sa akin, the other potential winners could also be the genuine opposition, right? It could be also the genuine opposition. But for some reason, we're still not seeing it there. And yun ang parati kong tanong. Ikaw, Jacob de la Cruz, anong pinagsasayang bias ka? Kung magaling ka talaga yung bias, tignan natin kung mga mag-hire sa'yo ng columnist or something, okay? Sa isang legitimate na newspaper, hindi mga SMNI type, mga ganun. Okay, goodbye. Talaga itong mga trolls na to So, may nagtanong, si Rumog, wala na ba tayong ibang choice? Meron tayong ibang choice. So, nung Saturday, after Wataru-san, immediately kausap naman natin si Toronaga-san, aka Ronald Llamas. Pinag-usapan natin. So, Tulfos are clearly eating into the cake of the Dutertes habang pabaksak at pababa yung mga Dutertes. If anything, yung mga nagkakaroon din yung mga dismayado rin kay Marcos dahil hindi pala golden era mangyari. In fact, tataas pang inflation ng mga other things, although hindi naman lahat kasalanan ng gobyerno. But nevertheless, hindi nagkakaroon yung mga golden era ng pinagsasabi nila. Golden era lang in a sense na binibenta natin ng gold kasi kumikita tayo. Now, I mean, going back to this, guys. The Tulfos are obviously juicing this up, right? Getting from both sides. And base sa mga nakita natin surveys, sa Pulse Asia survey, Tulfo is already ahead of Sara, although statistically tied, but I know other surveys whereby Tulfo is pulling way ahead of Sara Duterte as the favorite to be the next president of the Philippines. Now, hindi pa tapos ang laban. Ang dami pang pwedeng mangyari between now and 2027, never mind 2028. But what I'm saying is that clearly the Tulfos are juicing it, right? That itong this disintegration of the unity team is bleeding support in favor of the Tulfos. So Tulfos are just waiting there and getting all the support from both sides, right? From the both sides. And probably, sabi ko nga, baka nga Ben Tulfo might end up even doing better than Erwin Tulfo because Erwin Tulfo is admin now. But Ben, by being independent, can actually get support from both sides. right? Criticize the BBM side a bit and get supporters of the DDS. Criticize a bit side of DDS, get supporters of loyalists, etc. The fact na hindi rin siya sumama sa mga DDS, that could put him in a position to get from both sides, no? And build his base. I doubt na maraming kakamping, to be honest, or mga leftists ay magboboto kay Ben Tulfo, to be honest about it. Rafi Tulfo may be another issue. Again, these are different brothers with different characters. But if you're Ben Tulfo, your best hope is to get the unity behind you by not taking sides between them and trying to criticize both sides. So I won't be surprised Ben Tulfo will actually end up number one, not Erwin. And we saw Ben Tulfo started at number 4. Remember nasa Berkeley tayo when I was at Leloy, we did an interview with Ranjit Rai, Professor Rai, who heads the Okta. Back then, Ben Tulfo was number 4 and 5. Now he's already tied with Erwin. I won't be surprised he'll be even number 1 by strictly being independent and positioning himself as the kind of a meta transcendental candidate. Again, we can talk about that more later on. So medyo risky for Erwin to be on the admin slate because that will automatically alienate a lot of DDS voters. Or siguro, a lot of hardcore DDS voters. So it looks like enough of DDS voters are still voting for him. That's why ang taas pa rin ng preference rate niya, no? No, the majority pa rin yung preference rate rating ni Erwin Tulfo. But balikan natin ito, guys. This is also the context within which I keep on asking, bakit yung Chekibam or ngayon Kibam na lang? Or why not yung Kibam, Kiko and Bam, and then Chel Jokno running sa Kongreso and Leila de Lima running Kongreso. But hindi na lang sila lahat mag-pink. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan yan, guys. Please tell me if I'm wrong. Sorry, please tell me if I'm wrong. Balitan natin ay glasses ito na lang. Please tell me if I'm wrong. Kasi hindi ko talaga maintindihan bakit hindi pink. Kasi hindi ba yung pink dapat, ito yung kulay ng, hindi naman dapat sa isang tao lang, di ba? The pink movement was not supposed to be about one person, nor was it supposed to be about one election cycle, right? The pink was supposed to be about a whole movement, right? So hindi ko talaga maintindihan what's going on here. I just don't understand. But again, in theory, kung ma-mobilize yung pink base, that could give a good boost and chance dito sa mga alternative candidates. Kasi, di ba, dito sa parating na elections, you cannot say na wala kang alternatives. Meron kang alternatives. Hindi lang Team Kadiliman or Team Kasamaan, meron ka talagang alternatives. Andyan si Leila, andyan si Chel, running as party list for Congress. And imagine having Chel Jokno and Leila de Lima there in the Congress if next year, if ever, magkakaroon ng talagang impeachment trial ni Sara. So they can be there to make sure it's fair and sound and robust and as politically acceptable as possible. If next year, suddenly the BBM side pushes for changing the Constitution, right? Then you have people like Chel Jokno, Leila de Lima, and other good people there to make sure na walang kalokohan na mangyari. Right? So you need those people. It's not true na walang alternative. There is an alternative. And when it comes to legal minds and people who know their law, they know their stuff. Next level ang Leila de Lima or sila Chel Jokno compared to some of these clowns. Just to be honest, no? We're trying to run for the highest offices. And then, Bam, Kiko, in theory, especially Kiko, has a good chance. And Bam also didn't do too bad nung 2019. Diba? Yung 2019, nung nag-8 diretso nag-0. Actually, Bam did best among them. And Bam was actually within a striking distance of making it to top 12. He was not very far away. And in theory, he can still work his way back. He's still young. I think the memory of the Aquinos and all of the DDS bashing of the Yellows perhaps is a little bit more in the background than it was 2, 3, 4 years ago when the Dutertes were in power, especially now that there's more and more dissatisfaction also with the Marcos brand. And now that even yung mga DDS ay nagpapakyut na sa mga dilaw, di ba? Tingnan mo, people power na daw, tapos biglang galit na sa Marcos dictatorship, biglang concerned na sa human rights and due process kasi biglang wala na sila sa pwesto, biglang silang apektado, di ba? So what I'm saying, and then Sara, trying to have that meeting suddenly with Leni Robredo, yung mga ganon, di ba? So I'm just telling you, in theory, actually, these true alternatives could also come in and maximize essentially itong nakikita natin na hidwaan sa pagitan ng Uniteam, Team Kadiliman versus whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Kaya for me, we have to have a conversation about this issue. Kaya hindi ko naintindihan yung mga iba nagsabi, eto naman si Richard, magka-cloud chasing naman siya. Like, what kind of idiocy is, anong klaseng katabadan yung ganyan mindset na bawal pag-usapan my goodness, bawal pag-usapan ang strategy Bawal pag-usapan anong mga kulang ng pink movement, anong pwede, kung may natira pa sa pink movement. That's clout chase. I mean, what kind of third world mindset is that? I mean, who are these hopeless people who by some weird, twist of event began to have some voice or platform on matters that obviously they have no business talking about. Seriously, there are a lot of people out there na ang daming satsat, wala naman background sa political studies, comparative politics, wala naman na publish, wala naman legit na ginawa, wala naman legit na publication, wala naman legit na trabaho, wala, malakas lang online dahil maingay, whatever. You can criticize me, whatever, for my social media posts, but at the end of the day, I do my assignment. All right, and I do my legit work in the academic institutions, right, including the top university in this country. A lot of people out there are even anonymous. So sobrang duwag and questionable, they're even anonymous, and yet they have some voice. And they try to silence us, and they try to tell us, don't say this, don't say that. Daming satsat. Tapos itong mga tao na to, ay nagmamagaling pa. Nagfi-feeling pa. Tapos kung may sasabihin ka, ay, ikaw clout chaser, wait lang. Sino ka ba ulit? Like, who are you to even tell us that we're chasing clout? Like, the clout is chasing us anyway as they speak because we do legit work. Unlike you people, especially itong mga anonymous na to. Unlike you people, we actually have real day jobs. We work for media companies, big media companies. We work for top universities. We publish for top publications. We actually have legit publications. Who are you people? Right? Who are you people? Who are these people? Kaya ako palaban ako dahil who are these people? Who gave them even the, di ba? Saan galing ano nila? Di ba? Ano ba ambag ng mga taong to? Except being toxic and except ruining the image of the pink movement. Ito mga tao na to, they think, they believe that sila lang nagsasalita in behalf of the pink movement. Who gave them that authority? Who the heck are these people? They're so duwag that they cannot even write under their names or their real faces. Ay, hindi ko na problema kung may issue sila sa kanilang ano. But I'm saying, like, if you're so coward that you cannot even say it as yourself, then who the heck are you to tell us that we are clout chasers, we will try to talk about these issues? Because there's something really lacking. If the pink movement was something real, so what happened? Did you mobilize it? So why none of the people now are wearing pink right now? Why are you not remobilizing it again? Can someone tell me? And why are these people, ano mga ambag nila to tell us not to discuss this issue? For heaven's sake. Di ba? I mean, like, you have to understand where I'm coming from. Di ba? Where I'm coming from is not third world mindset. Where I'm coming from is not itong mga tao na satsat na walang alam sa buhay. Where I'm coming from is not these people who have no business talking about issues that they clearly do not understand. Diba? So, yun lang sinasabi natin, guys. And yes, true. These are people who not only do not accept their defeats and shortcomings, they attack anyone who tries to remind them of their shortcomings and mistakes. And then they try to tag you, apologist tag you, clout chaser tag you, like all sorts of this katabadan na nakakainis na gano'n. Diba? Kaya you have to call out these people. Guys, please, if you do believe in a better Philippines, if you do believe in what we're trying to do here, sige, kahit hindi kayo ang sangayon sa akin personally, okay lang yan. But I know that all of us agree on one thing, which is we should not allow any of these people, any of these trolls, anonymous people, at mga self-righteous, padisente na ang babastos pa nila magsalita, among other things. These people have no right to tell us what to say and what to do. Sino ba sila? Who gave them that right? And actually, I'll tell you what, I'm disappointed with some people, di ba? Who supposedly represent decency and all of that, pero hindi nila sinasabihan itong mga taong to na clearly makikinig sa kanila kung siguro magsalita sila. But never nagsasalita eh. Hindi naman nagsasalita mga iba dyan. Di ba? Kaya dun sa mga taong iba dyan, akala nila nagpapatawa lang tayo dito. Akala nila nag-ano tayo. No, we're serious people here, okay? We're not joking around here. I won't be doing this thing at 11 p.m., 12 p.m. every day, whatever, kung hindi ako naniniwala if there's no core convictions involved here. Alright? If I didn't believe there could be a better Philippines. But how can we have a better Philippines when these people, who are these, are trying to prevent us from having proper conversation? I just proved to you guys, data after data after data, vlog after vlog after vlog, column after column, na ang mga Duterte ay pababa na, but Marcos is also not necessarily going up. And in the meantime, the Tulfos are coming in, eating the lunch and the lunchbox and the whole kitchen. And this is the opportunity for the other side to come in and say, this is the alternative. But how can they do that if we are not even allowed? As if naman. But you know what I'm saying? They try to block us from having a constructive, proper conversation. No, the moment we're trying to have a conversation proper, oh, no, it's all disinformation. Oh, no, dinayan lang kami. Alam mo kung ganyan mag-isip yung mga opposition sa US, if the Democrats were thinking that way before 2020, if the Party Trabajador was thinking the same way the other year before they defeated Bolsonaro, if I can go on and on and on, progressive parties from Latin America to Europe and what, if they were all thinking the same way, the hopeless case silang lahat. Except they were not that way. So I'm wondering, bakit ganun dito sa Pilipinas? Why are we being blocked? Why are we being tagged? Why are we being insulted? Why are we being silenced? Right? Why? Because some people do not want to have a proper reflection and introspection. Hindi pwede yan sa akin. Hindi pwede yan sa akin. Okay? Hindi yan pwede sa akin. These people have no idea what they're dealing with. Okay? I, I, I have no time for this third world stuff, silo thinking, backwards type people, mga duwag people na ganun. Kaya we do what we do, guys. Alright? So, it's very important, guys, we push back against those kinds of people who are holding us back and not allowing us to have the proper conversation. Kasi kailangan talaga natin ng talagang masinsinan na pagsusuri. Saan tayo nagkakulang? Ano mga strategiya na kailangan natin? Saan tayo nagkamali? Ano bang kailangan natin gawin? Para habang pababa yung mga Team Kadliman or whatever, meron na oportunidad yung mga ibang grupo, di ba? To push for real positive change. Hindi lang real change na whatever, but real positive change. But you cannot push for real positive change if people are not even allowed to have the proper conversation and all. And the moment someone talks is, oh, ikaw cloud chaser. Oh, like, who the heck are you? What kind of third world people are you? Don't you even have the idea of role of public thinkers? Of course you wouldn't know that because you're just a bunch of trolls. A bunch of like I'm being nice. I mean, there's the off-the-record version I could say, but never mind, di ba? So, yun lang kaya guys, mahalaga talaga we do what we do here. Alright, we do what we do here. We keep on pushing back and we keep on fighting. Because otherwise, sayang. We finally have some space. We finally have some opportunity. But if we allow certain people to hold us back and not shut down debates and conversation and debate kasi ayaw nila ma-embarrass, ayaw nila ma-booking, ayaw nila ma-hurt yung kanilang feelings kahit palpak sila, kahit wala silang alam, kahit wala silang ambag, that's not gonna help anyone. We have to do what we have to do. Alright? I'm sure none of these people, itong mga duwag na to, they will dare to have a conversation with in person kasi alam nila, they cannot beat me in reason, wala, itong mga losers itong mga to kaya hanggang online lang sila ganyan Diba? But we won't give them a quarter. We will fight back here in different quarters. Like Churchill, right? We will fight them in the shores. We will fight them in the seas. We will fight them on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. We'll not give them a quarter. If they take over, we will go back. Yung speech ni Churchill before, diba? Fighting back against the Nazis and all that. Nah, I'm telling you guys, I'm serious. Alright? Kaya active tayo on different platforms Alright? There's no future for the genuine opposition if a bunch of walang ambag people na toxic keep on alienating everyone and shutting down any proper introspective discussion. And I'll tell you what, I've talked to some of the leaders in the opposition as much as I talked to the other side, and they also know this, and they also agree with me. Now, problema nila kung wala silang okay, you know what I'm gonna say, right? But, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. And I know more and more people will agree with us. Alright? So, some of the things you're seeing here, these, the millions of engagement we get here is not because we're great and fantastic and all. It's because people hear the message here. Because alam nyo saan galing mga sinasabi natin. Alam nyo talaga yon guys. Alam natin lahat yan Alam natin lahat anong problema At alam natin sino mga sagabal sa progreso ng ating bayan. Sino mga sagabal sa tunay na pagbabago na positibo. Right? So para sa akin, wala rin saysay kahit pababa mga Duterte or Marcos or whatever kung hindi rin naman gumagalaw yung iba or sagabal pa rin yung iba para magkaroon ng oportunidad ang genuine opposition, ang genuine alternative forces. And that's why we are where we are. The Tulfos are coming in, they'll eat the lunchbox and take over the kitchen. Are we gonna allow that? Are we okay with that? Ganun lang ba tayo? That's what I'm saying. You have to do what you have to do. I believe, okay lang naman sa akin maging polite and mabait and all of that. But at some point, you have to call things out, guys. You have to call a spade a spade. Alright? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Gets nyo naman, diba? Gets nyo naman saan tayo galing. So, nagpapatawa tayo, nagbibiro tayo and all that. But I hope you people also understand, alright? We're serious people. Okay, anyway. Tama yan. It's, I got that line from Seth. I'm watching you. Okay. Thank you guys. Maraming salamat. Medyo habol pa naman ako sa mga ibang kailangan natin umabol sa ibang engagement sa atin. But I'm glad na marami pa rin sa atin mga kababayan, mga kameta, ka-YouTubers, ka-Spotifyers nandito at nakikinig sa atin at nanonood sa atin kahit ganitong oras. So, thank you so much. Maraming salamat. Ayan, i-block din natin itong mga troll na to bago tayo mag-goodbye. Ayan, para next time, di na kaya sa sa gawad sa atin. Thank you so much. God bless and talk to you soon. And please continue to support us on different platforms dito sa Facebook, YouTube, among others. And again, dun sa Spotify natin please don't forget deep dive, okay? Para tuloy-tuloy lang tayo. Um, soon we're hoping to have also an event with other Spotify folks para push lang natin yan. Hopefully we can have some sort of big Spotify event or different podcasters together para we can meet more in person and we can have more events and plan things along those lines from there. Maraming salamat. God bless and talk to you soon. Thank you very much.